A polynomial is in standard form when the exponents are arranged from biggest to smallest. So the exponents are in decreasing order. So we're going to write the following polynomial in standard form. So I have f of x equals, my 2x cubed is the largest exponent, so that's going to go first, plus x squared minus 4x plus 4. Remember, when you're reordering terms, make sure to keep the signs with the correct term. So synthetic division is a shortcut to divide polynomials when the divisor is a linear term. And remember that a linear term means the highest exponent is 1. So for example, x plus 7 or x minus 3, something like that is a linear term because my highest exponent is an imaginary 1 there. So let's take a look at how we use synthetic division, and then we'll go through the steps. Remember that the term on the bottom is your divisor. So I'm going to set my divisor equal to 0, and I'm going to get the 0 or the root. That number is going to go on the shelf. Then I want to make sure that my numerator, the number or the term that I'm dividing into, is in standard form with no missing terms. I check, it is, so I'm going to copy down the coefficients. I'm going to bring down my first term, and then we're going to multiply. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. I'm going to put that there. We're going to add. Negative 3 plus negative 2 is negative 5. Now I'm going to multiply. Negative 5 times negative 1 is a positive 5. Now I'm going to add. I get 0. The last number is always your remainder. So since I got 0, it's a factor. There's no remainder. Then it goes from right to left in increasing order because I want to keep it in standard form. So this is my constant, and this is my x to the first. If there was something else over here, it would be x squared, x to the third, and so on. So my final answer is 2x minus 5. Let's take a look at the steps. Synthetic division is a way to divide a polynomial by the binomial x minus c, where c is a constant. Your first step is that polynomials must be in standard form. Be sure to use a 0 to hold the place of any missing terms. You're going to write down the coefficients with their signs, and then you're going to bring down the leading coefficient to the bottom row, just like we did before with that first 2. You're going to put c, which is the 0, on the shelf. Remember, it's the opposite sign of the divisor. Multiply c by the values written on the bottom row. Add the columns created in step 5. And then, of course, you're going to write your final answer. And you're just going to keep repeating this process until you're done. Let's take a look at another example. So remember, this is my divisor. So p minus 1 equals 0. That means p equals 1. This is my 0. That number goes on the shelf. And then I need to make sure my other term is in standard form. Notice how I'm missing a 0p. So I'm going to put in that 0 as my placeholder. So when I list out my coefficients, I have 8, 2, 0, and negative 10. Bring down the first term. Now you multiply. 8 times 1 is 8. Now we add. 2 plus 8 is 10. Now we multiply. 10 times 1 is 10. Now we add. 0 plus 10 is 10. Now we multiply. 10 times 1 is 10. Now we add. Negative 10 plus 10 is 0. Remember, this number is my remainder. So I have no remainder. Constant, x to the first, x to the second. In this case, they're not x's, they're p's. But my final answer is going to be 8p squared plus 10p plus 10. Let's do one more example for the video. First step, take my divisor, set it equal to 0, get my 0. That goes on the shelf. Make sure I'm in standard form. Make sure I'm not missing any terms. Line up your coefficients. 4, -2, 3, 1. Bring down your first coefficient. Now we multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. Now we add. -2 plus 8 is 6. Now we multiply. 6 times 2 is 12. Now we add. 12 plus 3 is 15. Now we multiply. 15 times 2 is 30. Now we add. 1 plus 30, 31. Remember, this is my remainder. So now this is the first time we're seeing a remainder when we're dividing. So when you're writing your final answer, you're going to put your quotient plus your remainder over your divisor. So remember, this is my constant, x to the first, x to the second. So my answer is 4, or my quotient is 4x squared plus 6x plus 15 plus, now I have my remainder of 31 over my divisor of x minus 2. And that's our final answer. So synthetic division is a nice shortcut. You're going to line up your coefficients, put your number on the shelf, your 0, bring down the first, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, keep repeating, and then write your final answer.